All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Craggy Brook Witchery Station, and this is Lori, and I hope we have some fun today because this is another little pouch that I found digging around the other day and opened it up and was like, oh man, does that bring back memories. This is a little thing that I could take with me when I traveled, and it might be a little tricky to show you here today because it is so teeny, but this was a little deck to help learn the playing card system. Totally different than tarot, and it does take some time and some patience. But if you remember maybe your grandparents reading, your mom, um, the old way that they read, as well as some of the meanings I tried to bring in here that might be the old way that the gypsies would read the cards, things like that. And all with respect and honor, because they really did have a lot of skill. And so let's just see what's in here. Nothing fancy inside, just for learning, but let's pull out the cloth. And again, yeah, could use some edging, but this was something I could take away and have fun with. And it has all the 12 signs of the zodiac on it. And we'll play with that again in a little minute. So I'm going to put that aside, look back in the bag, and here's my little card. And it's just a plastic case, but I was able to store the cards and some information in here. And I gotta say, don't you hate when you open things up that you've put an elastic around and before you know it, it's rotted and you gotta pick it off? But we'll just leave that for now and go on. So in here are the little cards, and they're just playing cards, simple but easy to see. So I'm gonna open that up and show you. I'll set this aside for a second. Got them all. Okay, so I did break them off, and I'll zoom in here into their suits. So let's find the end of the diamonds. Kind of hard to hang on to because they are little bitty things. So there's our ace of diamonds and their suit. Here's our hearts and our wands and our spades. And the deck does come with jokers. And I found when I was doing some reading, if I bring these little guys closer, that if you got the red joker, it was better. The black joker was sort of bad luck. And I did bring that into the readings. That was kind of fun. So we've got the two jokers. We'll set them here. We'll move this down a little bit. There we go. And in the lid, as I say, I managed to stash some information. So what have we got here? Well, let's go slowly. If I put this here, and we'll get it into focus, you can see that they're a little bit smaller than business card because they had to fit in the little box. But I put all the wand information on this side and on the back, all the spades. So that made it a little easier to have the black cards on one card and the red cards on another. And I know that some of the old ways of reading the cards didn't take it in all the way. There were certain ones that they left out. But I wanted to play with a full deck. So you can see if the Ace of Wands came up, that might be something, communication, letter, emails, texts, or whatever. And that is the big difference now when we think of communication compared to years ago. That would have represented probably a letter or, the guy who rode on the horse all that way and then finally dropped it off for a few coins, that kind of thing. Still a letter, but important. And as I say, I'll hold it here for a second if you want to look at some of the words. And I still refer to some of these when I'm doing tarot readings, but I try not to bring the meanings of the tarot cards to this. This is a totally different system, and it does take patience to learn. But you know, if you play, you can learn. That's sort of my new expression. So that was that. And then going along with the old meanings again, if 4 aces came up in a spread, that was not a good sign. That could mean things were a little bit tricky, a little bit dangerous to maneuver through. And it went all the way. And you can see here, if you got 4 6s, you can't read my writing that well, but it was to heal. And 4 5s were a gift. 4 4s would be news, that sort of thing. It was interesting, and as I say, I still bring that to the tarot once in a while if all of a sudden there's 4 kings on the table, something like that. And there you can see that there might be some deals going on, some communication, some business offerings. If there was 3 kings, well, that was a serious matter too. And jacks were fun, if I remembered those. 2 jacks in a reading, and I still, as I say, go to that. There's something happening there. There's some scheming and some maybe behind the scenes stuff going on. So that was a lot of fun. I used that. And then this went with the cloth. So you can see here that the signs of the zodiac are all represented, and a couple of words that I could sort of use and step off from. And the little initials here represent fire, earth, air, and water throughout. And this was the little cloth that I had designed based on books that I was reading for doing the zodiac spread. And they do fit quite nicely. I'll just move this stuff aside for a second, and I'll bring the spread cloth forward for you to see. And there's the cloth. And for instance, you can see I've got the dates that if a person was born in that zodiac sign, they fall within. And for instance, Pisces there. If a card fell in there, well, what number is it? What does that mean according to those little cards I showed you? And are there secrets going on? Is there a lot of feelings and self-knowledge? And just some simple little things. So I'll put this down here and move this like this. And what I'll do is I'll show you how the cards can fit right in those little spaces. I know we're not doing an actual reading right now, but I wanted to show you how they look. And as I say, there's numerous books on reading playing cards, and I did do some. This could be the significator card maybe in the middle if some people like to do that. There are some old-fashioned ways of reading the cards that even take in reversals, and then that would be maybe requiring you to put a little tiny pencil dot, because it's hard to see if this is upright or reversal. So if you saw the dot and you made a note in your little book that whenever a dot appeared, for instance, in the upper right-hand corner, that was either upright or reversed, depending on what your system was going to be. So again, it was something fun I could take out with me. I did have my little cheat sheets with me. Didn't take up a lot of space, and they were protected because I kept them in the little plastic box. And these are so inexpensive at a dollar store to find. And it's nice to use the jokers too. That is a treat. So if you're interested in learning playing cards, try it. Playing is learning. That's how we do it. And make yourself some cheat sheets. Really try to break it down as simple as you can so that you're not overwhelmed. And I did watch Truth and Story one day, and she was talking about playing cards. And she was also talking about books. And she made a good point that too many books can cause confusion. It's like too many cooks in the kitchen. So get a couple books that you enjoy and try to stick to those meanings until you really get a feel for it. So this is Lori from Craggy Brook Witchery, hoping you have some fun today, learning and exploring, thinking beyond the boundaries. And if you have a mother who reads cards, maybe she can chime in and give us some information too. Thanks so much. Have a